Hello everyone, this is S. Jambu Kumar, Assistant Professor of Department of Information Technology in Sri Shanmuga Educational Institutions. Today we have C2 in this topic is conditional, looping and unconditional statements. These concepts help your program make decisions, repeat tasks and control flow of execution. Let's get started. Introduction to control statements. In C programming, control statements decide how the program should run. Without control statements, every program would simply execute line by line. There are three major types. Control conditional statements used for making decisions, looping statements used for repeating actions, unconditional statements used to jump from one part of the code to another. Control statements make programs smarter and more flexible. Conditional statements. Conditional statements help us execute certain lines of code only when specific conditions are true. In C, the main conditional statements are if else, else if later, nested if, switch. We are use these to check conditions like eligibility, comparison of numbers, and menu based choices. The if statement allows a block of code to run only when a condition is true. If the condition is false, the code block is skipped. This is one of the simplest and most commonly used decision making structures in C. Syntax for if statement. If condition the condition is true, then go to the printf statement. Only one condition will be checked into the if statement. In this example, the program asks for user age and checks whether they are 18 or elder. This is the question. In this example, the program asks for the user age and checks whether they are 18 or elder. If the condition is true, the program prints you are eligible to vote. If not, the message is skipped. This is a basic real life use of the if statement. The if else statement helps us choose between two options. If the condition is true, one block is executed. If the condition is false, another block is executed. This is very useful for tasks like checking whether the number is even or odd. Here, the program checks if a number is divisible by 2. If yes, it prints the number is even. Otherwise, it print the number is odd. This is a very common example used in programming classes. Else if, ladder and switch statements. When we need to check multiple conditions, we used an else if ladder. The program executes only one block whose condition becomes true first. This is useful for grading systems, range checking, and multi-level decisions. In this example, the students' marks are evaluated. If the marks are 90 or above, grade is A is given. If 75 or above, grade B. If 50 or above, grade C. Otherwise, the students fails. This is an example and a clear way to implement multiple conditions. The switch statement is another way to handle multiple choices, especially when comparing a variable with constant values. It is commonly used for menu driven programs. Each option is placed inside a case block and the break statement is used to stop execution after the required case runs. Switch statement example. In this example, the user chooses an operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Each case prints the selected operation. If the input does not match any option, the program finds invalid choice. This makes menu driven applications easy to implement. Loops allow a block of code to repeat multiple times. This helps reduce repetitions and makes the program more efficient. C has three looping statements. First one is for loop, second one is while loop, third one is do while loop. First one, for loop. The for loop is used to when we know exactly how many times the loop should run. It includes initializations, conditions, and increment decrement all in one line. This makes it clearly and easy to use. For loop example. In this example, the loop prints the numbers 1 to 5. Here, the value of I increases by 1 in every iteration until the condition becomes false. Second one is while loop. The while loop is used when the number of repetitions it's not now in advance. It checks the condition first and only then executes the loop body. So if the condition is initially false, the loop never runs. While loop example. In this example, the loop continues printing numbers from 1 to 5. The value of I increases in every iteration until the condition fails. Third one is do while loop. The do while loop always execute at least once because the condition is checked at the end. This is this is useful when we want to loop to run at least once, even if the condition becomes false. Example for while do while loop. First one, first we declare the header files int main. Next one, initialize the I equal to 1. We create the do after we print module d comma I. Why is give to the module d? Integer data type format specifier is module d. That's why I'm giving to the module d comma I. Next one is printing the statement I. Okay, the condition is true. Next one, the next step, I values incremented. For this condition is all completion after the condition will be executed while I greater than or equal to 5. That condition first have to increment. After we check the end of statement, we have to check the conditions. This is the do while loop. Thank you.